Okay, everyone, welcome to another exhilarating episode of Prager U Debunked. Today's video I'm going to be debunking is, of course, Prager U's video of how to end white privilege. This video is primarily dealing with white privilege and conservative way of ending white privilege. So, of course, if you know me, I'm going to use my, well known form of just using common sense, which is not so common, to debunk this video. As you can see on the side, I have my, you know, Apple Apple Podcast link. You can go ahead to that. You can see that in the chat. If you can't, I'll show you it here underneath. And as you can see, you can easily go to this link right here, and of course, view the podcast. I already have done a few PragerU videos that I tried to debunk on there on the podcast. Of course, I'll bring those to the live stream as well eventually, debunking those in my own way as well. You have that, my Apple Podcast one. And of course, you even have my, Anchor support so you can support me, help fund my endeavors so I can do this on a, you know, regular basis and make money off of it. It'll be really great busting up PragerU and making money off of it. You can also go here and actually see my podcast on Spotify as well. So it's double for that link as well. You can actually go there and support me, and you can also go there and, of course, listen to the podcast. So let's go ahead and just get into it, shall we? We're here to bust up PragerU. So, without further ado, let's just get to the video. Yeah, as you can see, PragerU. So, let's get to the video, shall we?
Woke white people, I'd like to ask you a favor. Please stop asking for forgiveness for your white privilege. You're not fooling anybody. You're not helping black people or any other minority. And your public confessions don't make you look virtuous. They make you look disingenuous, which is a really nice way of saying fake, phony, and fraudulent. For starters, what is white privilege anyway? Because you're born with white skin, you have all these advantages that I don't have?
Well, since he asked, why not explain to him? I'll state him. What is white privilege? Well, let me help him out because I always come with, you know, always come with things called evidence. I know conservatives really hate that. And here we go. As you can see, what is white privilege? White privilege is a concept that highlights the unfair social advantage that white people have over non-white people. It is something that is preserved through society and exists in all major systems and institutions that operate in society as well as on an interpersonal level, right? So, kind of get the idea. Let's stay here. Let's go. Not the origins of the term. The phrase "white privilege" was first coined by activist and scholar uh, Peggy McIntosh in 1988 in her paper "White Privilege," unpacking the invisible knapsack. Okay, and they have a reference for that, by the way. More likely her paper. She describes white privilege in terms of the unspoken advantage that the dominant culture has over people of color. Okay, are you starting to get this? You know, I hope you are. You're starting to see that is something that is not spoken, right? You're not going to the, you know, store and going to the cashier and say, I'm white. Hi, here's my white privilege. I am now taking all of these products for free. No, you don't go to the job and call them up. Yes, I am a white man. I'm using my white privilege. Give me the job with the maximum amount of money. No, it's normally unspoken, something that you normally don't see. Correct? Like most privilege is not seen, right? It's normally an act that is done that results in said privilege. Let's go ahead and read more of this article because I think they actually go into it. Yeah, they actually do. They say they show it. Oh, right. Examples of white privilege. Just so he can understand with these examples. Just something simple. Imagine that you if you're white, are going shopping and looking in the cosmetic section for a brand of foundation that matches your skin tone. Something simple. You see, white privilege isn't always something grand, all white people are immaculately rich. No, that's white privilege. Not every black person can go and find makeup that matches their skin tone. That's actually pretty important, correct? They talked about the whole thing with nude color. You looking for lingerie or, some type of, shoes or clothes and whatnot. And they say nude, but the nude doesn't match your skin tone. Because, of course, it doesn't. If you're brown, it won't. But the biggest one is at the bottom. The one I normally like to use. When you walking into a store, how many people give you the stink eye? I think he actually talks about this in that. So let's get back to the video and let's see how he reacts to it.
Like what? Like you can get a mortgage loan that I can't get? I got a loan.
Actually, yes, he can get a mortgage loan easier than you can get. And also, he had privilege of already being in a nice neighborhood that he can move to, while you will be considered stuck in a non-friendly environment, like the ghettos, because of things like redlining. So all because you have a loan doesn't mean that you have a better loan. They can get better loans and get loans on things without having to go through the hoops that you had to jump through. A white person can get a loan with just having a certain type of job that you just aren't privileged to be able to get without a lot of hoops to jump through. They just get it because, oh, hey, my dad hadn't to talk to had to talk to the owner of the business, and now, hey, now I'm working at a job that requires me to have a degree, and I hadn't even finished high school yet. But let the video continue.
At a great rate, by the way, and I got the house. Why would a banker not give a loan to someone who met the loan requirement?
Why would a banker not give the loan to someone who met the loan requirements? Because they think that they're a drug dealer because they're black. By the way, I'm telling you this because this is exactly what happened at the bank that I just came from. M&T Bank. I'll name it. If you want to name a bank, I will tell you. M&T Bank, Chartley, Ricetown Road. The whole, the whole thing. The manager there didn't want to open an account for an individual because she believed that the person was doing drugs or doing some form of crime. Of course, he's a young black man. By the way, would not have done that to a young white man. So sometimes you can meet the requirements, as he did. He met the requirements to open up an account. He was of age. He had money to put into the account. He didn't want to put the whole $25, but he had money to put into the account. He had a form of continual payment, like a job. But guess what? Since he thought the man was shady and didn't want to put the full $25 down into the account, and kept asking about how if he can, start putting money in and taking money out of the account, how quickly he can do it, she felt that he was doing some type of criminal activity. Difference. Sometimes you don't even get this type of questions if you're white.
He doesn't want to make money? I've never heard of such a banker. Or how about
Yeah, they'll make you jump through more hoops and give you more requirements. They'll either say that those requirements are hard to get to for people who are black or color, sort of say. Have you heard of redlining? And that's the thing. Like I said, just doing a simple search of redlining. There you go. There you go. Like I said, easy found it. Just to help them out real quick. Investopedia. Redlining is a discriminatory practice that push services, financial and otherwise, out of reach for residents of certain areas based on race or ethnicity. So, for the individual to say, like him, well, if you met the requirements, well, they'll make your requirements extraordinarily hard to get. Oh, for your type of job, because the only job you can get is one that will pay you barely minimum wage, we can't give you $100,000 loan to go and get a house. We can give you $25,000 of a personal loan, right? Things like that. So you have to be extremely well off compared to someone who's white who isn't. But let's keep it going, right? Let's keep it going.
About this, you can enter a store. But I, a black person, cannot, except that has never happened to me.
Excuse me, Mike Meat. It actually did happen to him. 100%. 1 trillion%. He haven't noticed it. He's now trying to lie and say, well, it never happened to me. Well, it happened to millions and millions of others. And let me tell you, it doesn't happen to white people. It doesn't. Again, you want to go with a personal thing? I can go with beat you with another personal thing. And I'll name the institution, by the way. M&T. Again, same one. Town Chartley. A group of young black men. By the way, this is a bank. By the way. So unless you're going to rob us, by the way, we protected by a thick plexiglass, a whole thick fortress of plexiglass. So it's not like they're going to rob us. Came in, and since they were horsing around like young kids do, they got the stink eye. But other black people. Yeah. Kind of weird, right? Even black people do it. But none of the white people come in there, no matter how young they are, come in and get a stink eye. None of them do. They come in, they loud, even one couple came in, he was kissing on his girl. No one even gave a shit. Wow. But three black guys come in there and you looking like they're trying to steal something. What they gonna steal? What they gonna steal? What they gonna steal? They don't have no guns on them. But they gonna steal nothing. But they get that look. And trust me, also worked at CVS pharmacy. I will drop that name. Every single time someone of color comes in, they get a look. But let a white person come in. No matter how fucked up, drugged up, and cracked up they look, they don't get a look. No one thinks about it. They don't pay attention to them. But if you're black, doesn't matter what you're wearing. They always look at you. Think that you're probably going to steal something. Let the video continue.
But if I was a young dude with my pants hanging down to my butt, I could understand why the store owner would be concerned. I used to be a cop. Believe me, I understand.
By the way, you hear Officer Tatum's usual go to, oh, believe me, I used to be a cop. Wait. I never had my pants below my waist, and I still get looked at. Right? Let's let it continue a little bit more. Of course, I'm not gonna let you see the whole video, but you're just getting the gist of the video. But let's keep it going.
If I owned a store, I'd be tracking that kid too, whether he was black, white, or anything else. Or what if I had a store that had a history of being shoplifted by young black women, and a young black woman with a bad attitude walked in?
What if a young black woman who didn't have a bad attitude walks in? You're still gonna give her a look? What if a young, well-dressed black woman walks in? You still don't give it that look. What if a young black man walks in? You still don't give it that look. Oh, what about a young white woman with a bad attitude, or a Karen walked in? Are you gonna give them a bad look? Which ones are you gonna give the bad look? Of course, blacks, regardless if they were, had a history of shoplifting. You're gonna give the black ones the look, aren't you? But let's see how his scenario goes.
Would I be suspicious? Yeah, I would. Who wouldn't? I call that common sense, not bigotry. But there's another way of looking at this. In many ways, in today's America, blacks have more privilege than whites.
Sorry, muted again. When you think of gangs, I was trying to say, when you think of gangs, what gangs come to mind? You know the Bloods, the Crips, and things like that. Thanks to Donald Trump, MS-13, individuals like that. You know, a little bit about across the South. Those Zetas, right? You know about people like that, groups like that, and those individuals are always in the news. They always in the news. You don't see people, piling up with individuals who are part of the Bloods and Crips. You don't see, politicians hugging around with Bloods and Crips. But what if I tell you that there's a gang, very deadly, by the way, that politicians pile around with? You know? Well, I'll tell you that. Would you, you know, would you be shocked by that? So, I'm going to show you an individual. I'm going to see. Do you remember this guy? Let's see. Hmm. David Duke. And I know you might be thinking, Trey, David Duke, the KKK doesn't exist anymore. That's old. Oh, really? Oh, really? Let's see about that, shall we? God damn, it's TYT again. I know, god damn, it's TYT again. You know I'm gonna find it when I bring it up. Let's not forget, We're talking about white privilege. So let's see what's so important about this video.
The KKK is in Atlanta doing a warning and recruitment campaign. Let's put up the flyers they've been putting up around the city of Atlanta, okay? It says, you have been paid another social visit of the old glory knights of the Ku Klux Klan. We have a dark history here, and because of you, a bright future. Be warned, race traders, mixed breeds, communists, homosexuals, and all of the walks of godless degeneracy. The Klan is back again and here to stay. So you better make amends or stay away. The Atlanta Police Department is voicing concerns over some KKK flyers found by residents in a Northwest Atlanta neighborhood. Police said they were reportedly discovered in the Zone 1 area along Paul Avenue Northwest, Spink Street Northwest, and Edwards Drive Northwest. The department said the flyers appear to be distributed by a group or organization who depict themselves as the Glory Knights of the KKK, Ku Klux Klans. The flyer appears to contain insensitive messaging. Police said they are investigating to determine if this act was an attempt to intimidate the community.
I'm glad he brought that up. Because see, remember, blacks have more privilege than whites. Right? 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 Blacks have more privilege than whites. But here it is, a literal terrorist group. I mean, we know the Ku Klux Klan. I'm pretty sure the Ku Klux Klan should be considered a terrorist group by now. You know, I don't think burning crosses on people's lawns and lynching individuals is something that should not be considered a terrorist group. Right? So, the police are saying, we don't know if it's an attempt to intimidate. Well, did you read the flyers? That sound pretty intimidating to me. But again, remember, Officer Tatum said, "Oh, you know, I never was affected by that." And again, I always say this, you know, I didn't see the moon landing. I'm pretty sure we landed on the moon. I never seen any human being in space personally. So I can't vouch for the fact that humans made it into outer space. I don't know if the world is round personally. Haven't seen it. Right? There's a lot of things I haven't seen, but a lot of things I believe without even having to see it. I know we made it to the moon and back. I know we make it to outer space on a regular basis. I know there's a lot of people being killed today as we speak. I don't have to see it to know it exists. And all because you're a well-known police officer and in that community in that area, and then of course straight up lie for the bread and butter, of course, as always, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. You can say you hadn't experienced it, knowing you did, but even if you lie and say you didn't, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And then try to wave it off by saying that every time someone they had their pants below their waist, because it's not that. I never wear my pants below my waist. I wear my pants right right at my waist. They never sag. They never baggy. I don't wear clothes that your typical stereotypical African American young male would wear. But still, I walk in, I get looks. I get looks even going to work. Button down, tie, slacks, dress shoes. Still get looks. I go into a Family Dollar. I'm getting looked at. Why? But someone white comes in there, they don't pay him any mind. Why? Let the video continue though.
If and this is one of the challenges I have with politically correct people. I don't care what job they have. Why are we even contextualizing it as if this is meant to intimidate the community? No, it is meant to intimidate the community. And as long as you all play this game around things like this, well, it's under review, and if this was meant to intimidate, we will let you know.
Exactly. But do you hear that about Bloods and Crips? If they would put up, first of all, do you hear about Bloods and Crips even putting up signs like that? I'm just saying. Do you hear Bloods and Crips putting up signs and saying, we're going to recruit people? Really? Really? This is again proof of white privilege. They're a gang, right? They're a gang. Ku Klux Klan. Like cross burning, hood wearing, lynching Ku Klux Klan. And that's not enough to get the police up and say, yeah, this may be, some form of imitate, some form of trying to intimidate the community. We're going to take this seriously. You don't. I wonder why. I wonder why. But hey, that's not enough. That's not enough. Trey says not enough. Trey said that's not enough. Look. Excuse me. What else do I have here for you? Because I'm going to go until I make I'm going to keep going until I make my point of view very well. Bam. What the heck did that tell you? Overall sentencing by race. There are disparities for some lesser offenses. Well, black defendants receive the longest sentencing on average, followed by whites and Hispanic defendants. However, this is true of overall sentencing length. It does not hold true across all types of criminal offense. For example, Hispanics often may perhaps be sentenced to lesser time on average because of population groups. So, since Hispanics don't make up that much people, they're going to be given less sentencing. Obviously, makes sense. That's how it's supposed to be. So for Hispanics, you know, you get sometimes they get sentenced less because of what they're supposed to, because they don't make it that much of that. People here get less sentencing because less of them should be going to jail because there's not that many people there. But of course, difference with blacks because of historical value. Historical value. Let's be real. Historical value. Historical value. The simple fact that black people, were systemically, you know, they've been systemically race. They've been the systemic racism. They've been biased against because of their race. Let's be real. We know about this and everything, right? So man, just looking through. While Hispanic criminal defendants tend to receive lower prison sentence on average, this does not hold true for murder. As you can see below, Hispanic defendants receive the longest sentence for murder. Oh wow, wait. Hmm. Another person of color, but I thought the law was supposed to be, even. You're not gonna have many, there's not gonna have many sentencing because of obviously you know, the average is gonna be low because of the amount of people that's there, the population, right? Because it's going against the population. But they have longer sentencing. They're averaging longer sentencing. Why? Interesting. Right? It's gonna say interesting, right? Proving that longer sentencing does happen. Yes, and they do sentence based on race, right? Got another video for you. Got another video for you by Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get to it, shall we?
I said, excuse me.
Where you're from?
I said, excuse me. Don't be rude.
You're the one that's rude.
No, I said, excuse me. I'm trying to buy something. So? So what?
That's none of your business. Stay out of it. I don't need to stay out of it.
I said, excuse
How many times have you heard that? Multiple times, right? It's starting to get ridiculous. So many times it gets ridiculous. Some racist Karen keeps saying, go back to where you came from. Some racist white person keeps saying, go back to where you came from. What does this have to do with white privilege? You say, Trey? Have you noticed that no one says that to white people? Like, can you please explain to me who was natively here? That's like check white people weren't native to this country. Just saying. They came here and stole the land. So if anyone has the right to say, go back to your country, is by wait, the individual holding that phone. She sounds like she's Hispanic. Will more likely be the Hispanic woman to that white woman. Because last I checked, Mexico was here right along with the Native Americans. So since she's Latin, we can't tell directly if she came from Mexico or not. So we can make an assumption if you want to be that way and say, yeah, Karen, go back to Europe where you came from. But I know, interesting. Still, Trey, you're just proving that racist people exist. What does this have to do with white privilege? What if I was to tell you that you have a person that committed a heinous act of mowing down innocent people, blatantly obvious, case closed type of thing, something that any prosecutor can take care of. Hell, don't even need to be barely even out of college to be to do that. You know, that type of case. All the evidence says you're going to jail for a long time. Person was drunk, under the influence of drugs and alcohol in the system, driving over the speed limit and everything like that. And of course, mowed down the individuals. Even came clean and said, yeah, that was him. Obviously said that, yeah, that was me. I did it. Everything. Nope, there's no, type of, police brutality going on here. The person was, caught easily, gave up easily, confessed easily, actually did the murder. For nothing, he did murder them. Innocent people. Easy. How long do you think that person spent in jail? If they black, they might not even make it to the jail. Let's just be real. They might not even make it. But individuals like that, no one's going to cry tears about. Let's just be real about it. No one's going to cry tears about him. We may actually laugh at the fact that he's gone. But hey, I know what you're saying. Can you prove it, Trey? Yes, I can. Have the name Ethan Crouch rings a bell a bit. If it doesn't, let me go here and show you. Let me go here and show you. Remember that face? If you don't, I'll be able to tell it to you. So basically, Ethan Anthony Crouch is an American who at the age of 16 killed 4 people while driving under the influence. Now I ask you, if he was black, how quickly would he be found and placed in jail? Quickly, right? But here's the thing. Very, 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 very good thing you may want to know about this. If you go and check, you'll see he was very intoxicated, right? So, how long was his sentence? How long was his sentence, you may be asking? Well, I have a proof for you. Answer is your mama. Here you go. Go get the go ahead and get her. Yeah. Go get her what for?
Oh.
Because she's doing the pictures and whatnot.
Shit.
So waking up. As you can see, what does that say? Affluenza? Too rich to go to jail. Now, I'm just going to ask, how many black people get away with that. You don't believe white privilege exists? Try doing this in jail. Try pulling this when you are like Ethan. 1,000,000,000% guilty. Going 70 in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. Under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Kills 4 people. Open and shut case. Don't believe in white privilege? Well, there you go. I know you can say, well, Trey, he was rich. There's a lot of rich people that went to jail. Remember Bill Cosby? Bill Cosby about damn near did, but O.J. Simpson? How the police went after him, even though he was found innocent for murder, they still kept going after him until they got him in jail for something. This boy got house arrest. By the way, he got to live in the lap of luxury. Some house arrest. But I know. That's interesting. Still, right? Still interesting. Hey, I'm doing my podcast. I'm live streaming on YouTube.
What kind of podcast you got?
I just talk about politics. It's on YouTube and Twitch. Decided to bring it up.
Oh, you wait till I come and he won't bring it up. He was already on it.
I was already on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, interesting, right?
Oh, somebody talking to you?
No, I'm talking to the podcasters.
Oh.
I'm on camera.
You ain't got with your arms and your
So,
hard drive.
well, I have to tell you guys that the police shot an individual 41 times by accident. By the way, the individuals didn't go to jail. Matter of fact, one of the officers was promoted.
This is the flash drive. Of course, you know that. Put that in.
Does that seem weird? Oh, of course. I always come with evidence. 1999. I'm going all the way back then. I was 9 years old when this happened. You can't plug it in. It's in the back.
No, she got the
Where you put your SD cards at?
Oh, this should be on there.
On the side?
Yeah.
No.
You need.
No.
It should be on there.
No. That's not it.
Oh, do you need it?
Wait, so she was there.
Find a spot.
Let me see the back of it.
Yeah, I say find a spot to plug it in.
There's not no place to put
Yeah, it is right there. Like this.
Exactly. It's a computer. It has spots for that. And it's up to date.
No.
I don't see it, Trey.
Thank you.
Hold on. It should be
Thank
over there.
you.
Should be over there.
No, it's not.
Spot for USB for flash boards.
Hey,
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, this is it.
This should be a spot for flash ports and whatnot. It only does have it here.
What's this right here?
That's a power button. Sorry. It's all right.
Why y'all got HP and
I don't know. Yes, sir, on that one.
what about that like?
How you gonna do your
Because it's not on his on the computer. This is hosting the mouse really, which I don't really need right now.
You need to plug it in there anywhere?
But see if I can plug it in. You know, this is for more of the Apple related.
Oh Lord, you gonna have to bring it over my house then.
This is about to.
Unless the church gonna have to bring it over my house.
Oh, geez. I should have something that connects with that. I thought I did. Check on the over there on the.
Oh, what's this? Is this plugged in right here? There's no box. Oh, that's an Xbox.
That's for other things. For my mic that I don't need to use right now.
No. I'm talking about to put your SD card on.
The printer?
This little box right here.
Yeah, that's for my mic.
You gonna put that tray?
Thought it was, but I don't think that connects to the
Computer.
SD card slot. So she may have to go over to her house.
Take the flash drive out.
Make him quickly do that.
Don't worry, I'm
Do this and find the shop.
going to store so y'all can come later. And I
Yeah.
was gonna bring your car, but that's too much like fight, and you don't get to come out the house.
Right. Anyway, let me
I'll wait. Where my camera at?
right. We go over there.
It's on the table.
We go over there definitely well before you leave.
No. I'm going to the store.
You use this.
It's for Apple. I was gonna try that. So hey, looks like we need to get a little something else now. Oh, anyway.
The Walmart spent my car payment.
Anywho,
Got it.
let's see what this video is about.
I believe it's been 20 years. It has been a long journey, but I'm healing.
Amadou Diallo's mother, Kadia, too, holds back tears. The last time she heard her son's voice was January 31st, 1999.
He was calling with the good news. He said, "Mom, I finally have saved enough money. I'm going to realize my dream." I was so proud. I didn't think that a couple days later he would be gone.
Diallo was just 22.
By the way, he was coming to America. You know, the whole American dream. By the way, he was coming over legally. Legally. The thing that you would want. Coming over legally, doing the right thing. On the up and up. But hey, what happened? Let's see.
When his life was cut short by a hail of NYPD bullets. Officials say 41 shots were fired by plainclothes officers outside of his Bronx apartment building back on February 4th, 1999.
So, 41 shots were fired at this man. 41. By plainclothes officers. So, in the average person's eyes, average people, regular citizens. Because you got to remember that the officers who are in plain clothes want to be taken and seen as citizens. They're not police officers out on a vacation. They're there for a reason. They're wearing plain clothes for a reason. So they want to be taken as regular citizens going about your day to day. So you don't see them and pay attention to them and say, hey, I just got my car got broken into. Can you go and arrest that individual? You're not going to do that to them. They don't want you to do that to them. They want you to basically see them as average, everyday people. Right? So, this man, in his last moments, is seen to be being murdered by individuals. Murdered. Guess what? Guess what? Because I know you're thinking, well, Trey, he was a mass murderer. You know, he shot up a place. He killed innocent individuals. You know what my answer is. Of course, he didn't. He was innocent. Like, completely innocent. How innocent? Let the video continue so you can see how innocent.
19 of those bullets piercing him.
I thought my life was ending. I didn't think I would recover.
On that fateful day, the officers, who were part of a street crimes unit, mistook him for an armed rape suspect. It was one.
I thought you was in shock by that. I'm gonna say you shouldn't be. I'm about to say, don't be in shock. I thought you were in shock by that. Like, ooh, no, don't be in shock. No, I want to hear ooh, nowadays. Shit. I wouldn't be shocked the police to say, I just want to kill somebody black and I want to shoot them. I was like, yeah, that's normal. That's how it is today. But yes, you heard. They mistook this man for an armed rapist and decided to kill him. How many officers went to jail for that? I'm gonna already tell you. 0. None of them. Matter of fact, the police officer, one of those officers, were promoted for killing him. Promoted for killing the man. Now, let's say that was, a well-known white person. Would that happen? Of course not. You guys remember that white girl that went missing earlier this year? If I remember correctly, I think it was earlier this year, not late last year. And how it was all on television. People trying to find her. They got a close eye on her boyfriend. And everything like that. Now, ask yourselves, how many times had this happened to somebody black and it didn't even make the local paper? Right? Multiple times. But I know, Trey, that's a, hey, that's a lot. You showed me that, rich people can get off scot-free. I don't believe that, yes, Ethan Crouch was a white boy who was 16 years old and apparently was lavishly wealthy, and he got off scot-free, literally got probation, 10 years probation, didn't even get an ankle bracelet, and he got to enjoy his lavishly wealthy life. Yeah, she showed me that, the Ku Klux Klan is not even considered a terrorist group and police don't even take them seriously, and yes, there's no such thing as a black Klansman. Let's just be real. They're that for a reason. They will kill that person, Yes, you can talk about a movie, Black Klansman or something like that. Trust me, that was because they showing he was not an actual Klansman. That would people they was showing him, hey, this is what we do, and so y'all can understand. Get the hell out of our goddamn way. If you ain't living in the neighborhood, we don't want you there. Get out. That's only what that was all about, if you remember. But I know you're still saying you're still not proving anything. Okay. Tough crowd. Right? But I'll come to you and I'll say, how many how many individuals that happen to be black that actually committed a crime like mass murder was given Burger King after they were arrested. Trey, what are you talking about? You may be asking. Well, if you know me, you know who I'm talking about. Oh, yes. Here he is. None other than Dylan Roof. Everybody. You know full well I was always going to go to this man. I'm always going to go to this man. I'm always going to go to this man whenever it comes to white privilege. For Officer Tatum, if you want to know white privilege, there's multiple examples out there. Go into those cells that you put people in and ask any of the ones that's there, how many times had they gotten arrested did the officers offer to buy them food while they were arrested? I'm not even saying the hardened criminals, because he committed a heinous act of murder. Mass murder. A mass murderer. Look how clean he is. Didn't even touch him. And you wonder, white privilege? White privilege, anybody? And I do know it sounds crazy. An individual commits an act of murder, mass murder. I mean, we can take a look. Says it right there. New details are emerging about what happened to Dylan Roof, the man who allegedly, not at that time was allegedly, he actually found guilty of it, killed 9 people at a Charleston church. They're at church for those Christian family values people. In the hours that followed his arrest, police in Shelby, North Carolina, reportedly brought the 21-year-old food from Burger King. These are hours that he was arrested. He was arrested, taken. He's done. They said, we're going to help you out, young man, because, kind of good. We're going to go ahead and give you Burger King. Burger King. After he committed a heinous act of murdering people while they were in church, a hate crime. He targeted that church because it was a black church, killing people inside. And guess what? He gets Burger King. Burger King.
Oh, she see.
Don't worry, I better get something. Burger King. But I know seeing a well-known white supremacist and murderer getting Burger King is not a good enough example of white supremacy and white privilege. You know, yes, no black person in the face of this planet Earth that committed a crime like that was given Burger King. I can go ahead and say that with great certainty. No, well, I can't say planet Earth because we don't know. There could be a small little hut somewhere that got a Burger King, you know, in Africa. I can say that didn't happen here in the United States. But I know you're saying, okay, Trey, that's interesting. That's interesting. You know, what else do you have? Because, good God, you talked for about an hour. And I already know. Everyone else is, I'm not even going to go and click on it. You don't need to. The name is still fresh in everybody's head. Ahmaud Arbery. If you don't believe in white privilege, understand the case of Ahmaud Arbery. So, everybody knows Ahmaud Arbery, young black man, going out for a jog, killed by two individuals. She was entrapped by a third one who was recording it. The McMichaels, Travis McMichael was the one that actually killed him, by the way. The one who pulled the trigger. Do you remember the whole story? Remember, that was about 2 to 3 years that his murderers got to walk free. It took a year-long protest due to the George Floyd case. By the way, a year long for that, for Derek Chauvin to be found guilty of murder, protests, and riots. It took for him to be found guilty. Found out that didn't do shit else for us. But he gets shot, killed. The police drive up to the scene. They see Travis McMichael with the gun with Ahmaud Arbery's blood on him. Gun, down there smoking from the heat. They don't even question the McMichaels. They don't even take the McMichaels into custody. They literally see a dead body right there, bullet wound right there, them holding the guns, and they just greet the individuals as if it was a regular day. The DA down there tried to cover it up, tried to make sure that no one talked about it. And for 3 years, they walked free. It took constant pressure, constant media coverage, constant talks with shows like TYT, who kept bringing up why are they still walking free? Why are they still walking free? They murdered the man. They murdered the man. They murdered the man multiple times. They walked free. Police were there, saw the act, and decided, you know what? That's not good enough. It took years for him to get justice. And you tell me that white privilege doesn't exist. They got years. If it wasn't for the media coverage that happened, no one would have went to jail. I know it's not enough. Not enough, right? Not enough, right? Remember that man? Remember him? You remember him? He gets stopped by a police officer, threatens the police officer. And what? You know who I am? What happens to him? Nothing. Didn't cooperate or anything. Man should have been dead about 5 times dealing with the police. Right? It's just like, wow. But I know you're saying, Trey, you don't like you're looking for something. I found something. I found something. As usual. I covered this before, by the way. Previous live stream. One of my first ones. Think affluenza is just because of being rich, or it has something else involved in it? Seriously.
Republican Attorney General. The elected Attorney General kills a man. Okay? He hits a man with his car, kills him, leaves the scene. He strikes a plea deal. He gets no jail time. A Republican Attorney General, the elected Attorney General kills a man. Okay? He hits a man with his car, kills him, leaves the scene. He strikes a plea deal. He gets no jail time.
Just like I asked before in that one. If he was black, and we seen would that have happened? Don't believe me? Something quite familiar with this guy here. Something that's kind of familiar here with this guy here. And of course, you know, this guy here. I wonder. Well, Trey, they're rich. Wait. O.J. Simpson was rich. He didn't even kill the people. And he still went to jail. They found a way to go and grab that man and put him in jail. And then tarnish his reputation by making people believe that he still did it. He's guilty until proven innocent, and still guilty after he was proven innocent. Okay. White privilege. You know I'm about to bring him up. I'm about to bring him up. So, white kid murders people with a car, get away with it. White man murders a person with a car, get away with it. White privilege doesn't exist. Still, white privilege. I'm about to bring him up. There you go. A white kid takes a gun illegally, travel across state lines, and the judge does everything within their power to make sure he's not found guilty. Now, how many times you think a black person can use a Glock, not even an AR-15, because they get caught with an automatic weapon? That's automatic grounds for them to go to jail. Carry a weapon illegally across state lines, and the judge tries to find everything in their power to make sure they get off scot-free. Don't believe in white privilege. If you don't believe in white privilege, do me a favor. Go into your bathroom, look into the mirror, and there's your representation of white privilege. Yes, I know you're saying, well, Officer Tatum, he's black. You were saying, yes, the representation of white privilege. The fact that you go back to make sure that every single solitary person won't even think about the possibility of white privilege. I showed you multiple times all the evidence that you can possibly find dealing with white privilege. Brought you the example. I showed how police will get away with killing someone as a person of color for what? Mistaking them for a rapist. And what happened? They get off scot-free. I don't need to bring up Breonna Taylor. I don't need to bring up Tamir Rice. I don't need to bring up those individuals that we know of how many times innocent black people, unarmed, gets murdered by police, and we have no accountability. And you wonder why we talking about white privilege and how he gonna try to say black people have more privilege than whites. How? What? Because they can't use the N-word? What? They use it all the time. Do you know about the KKK? That's still around. They're not even considered a terrorist group. You seen, all right, I brought it up. They putting signs out there in Atlanta intimidating that community. And the police not even taking it serious. Again, I ask, if the Bloods and Crips, because they don't even do it, try to intimidate the community by putting out literal literature, how quickly would they bust down and break down on these individuals? If you don't believe in white privilege, something's wrong with you. If you want to know how to get rid of white privilege, when those individuals like Dylan Roof get arrested, they shouldn't be getting Burger King. If you're going to arrest a mass murderer and give them Burger King, I'm pretty sure the little drug dealer selling dime bags of weed should get at least a 6-piece chicken McNugget. That's what we wanted to say. Can we get treated equally? Don't just shoot us and kill us because you mistaken us for somebody else. And if you do it, hold those individuals accountable. Why can't black people use affluenza? Why can't they be too rich to jail? Because it's not about them being too rich. The richness is a consequence of them being white. As you've seen, a GOP governor can kill a man and get away with it. I'm not talking about, maybe killing him. I'm not talking about, they were the only person that's well known that was there and killing them. I'm talking about directly running the man over, glasses in his car. The man's head went through the goddamn person's windshield. They were not paying attention to the goddamn road. The man was looking at an anti-Biden article and ran the dude over. The dude head went through his windshield. His glasses landed into his vehicle, and the guy drove off. And you trying to tell me that's not white privilege? How many black people can do that? Get caught afterwards and still get no jail time? Like, come on. Be real. I know Officer Tatum will say he'd never seen it, so it obviously didn't happen. No, it happened. Anyway, this is going to be where I end the podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, share the podcast. I'm trying to do Prager U Debunked, every weekend if I can, of course. I help my girlfriend out with her homework, so that's all dependent upon that. So it won't be that for that long, so I will be able to do this every weekend eventually. And of course, as long as Prager U got videos as well, I'll just do those. Yes, I will go back and look at some other videos that I did, truth about slavery. I did on my regular podcast. I will do on the live stream as well. Just because I just love debunking these videos. As you see, I'm not a individual who has a wealth of, teams behind me. I don't even get paid money from YouTube at all, period. I just do it for free as a hobby. I like to get paid. That's why I, put this up here, my, support, go to this URL right here and support me, of course. That'll help me be able to do this for a very, very long time and make it not just a hobby, but an actual job. I would love it for it to be my job to debunk these crazy, idiotic, conservative ideas that they're trying to spit out there to the general public. But anyway, this is going to be where I can go ahead and bring it to a close. Later, guys.